Hello, and welcome to the Nights in the Nightmare Let's Play. This is video 32, covering scene 27. Last time, we fought some more monsters in the castle, and in the end, we came across Aquina, who's preventing us from moving forward. She's between us and our goal, so I'm afraid she's gonna have to go. Okay, here is the arena that Aquina has chosen to face us in. It's got some obstacles that we're going to have to overcome before we can even bring the fight to her. But before we get to that, we have our usual things. Basturk, a warrior, we have his key item, so we will be able to recruit him. Syrie, a duelist there, we have her key item as well, so she'll be joining us. We have a spot here where we can put any knight we choose, that's always nice. As far as obstacles on the field, there are three. An arbalest here with a key item, another one here, and finally a third one here. And all three of those things are going to be firing at us until we finally destroy them. Aquina herself is up in the upper corner, but she's kind of hard to see, so let's load up some key items and hopefully clear up the screen. There, now we can see her. Let's get her story. Once again, the portrait is just awesome. I'm especially partial to the colors they use. It's just gorgeous. So let's take a look at the actual battlefield without all the clutter on it. Now if you remember, Aquina's up in that corner there, and you can see in the bottom right it says a height of 8. However, our warrior is there, Basturk. He only has a height of 0, it's where he's fighting from, and Syrie is fighting from a height of 2. So Aquina's going to be able to walk around up there, just waltz around and shoot at us freely, and there's nothing we can do about it. There's no one who can reach her. So that's something we have to deal with. Fortunately, they gave us a duelist in a position that can get up there. So Syrie is going to have to hop up on top. Now remember, duelists are the only units that can actually do that, so it's nice of them to put one right there for us. However, she's going to be the only one who can get up there. After that, then our paths are blocked from the arbalists. So for that reason, we have to destroy them and get them out of the screen. To that end, I'm going to remove Basturk and then load him in that empty spot. So that he can hopefully destroy that arbalest and open a path to Aquina. As far as that empty spot that he just created, I'm going to throw in Hilgard, our duelist. She has a little traveling to do of her own. Alright, our primary worry this round is going to be to destroy that arbalest that's in front of Basturk. Here's our slasher, +4. You guys remember that one? We used it during the fight with Melissa the first time we fought against her. It has a rush count effect where at a rush count of 3, our attacks will charge very quickly. We took advantage of that when we fought Melissa, and we're going to do the same this time. The reason why is because I don't want to invest a lot of time charging up to destroy that arbalest. It takes quite a few blows to finally remove them from the field, and I just can't afford the time spent charging them, so we're going to greatly increase that charge rate. So what we're going to have to do is land 3 normal blows on Aquina to bring our rush count number to 3. That'll activate the rush count effect, and then Basturk will be able to quickly charge and hopefully destroy that arbalest in short order. Alright, we have our battle plan, I guess.
Engage! Ready!
Erica was another duelist that we recruited. Alright, Syrie needs to hop up there, and if you watch, Aquina dodged her blow, so we weren't quick enough. Then we got a hit off, rush count is 1, another hit, rush count is 2, this should do it. Alright, we have the rush count effect activated. Their Berserk can charge quickly and hopefully take that thing down. Aquina is up at the top and she's crawling into that little corner there. And she loves to do a special move in that corner. I'm going to avoid it for now. I'll show it off later, but right now I want to focus on removing that object. Alright, the fast charge is gone. We have to do it the old-fashioned way. But luckily the key item was popped out. Now it's just a matter of actually destroying it. And there was her special move. She locked onto us. And so now there's some random arrows that come out of nowhere to attack us. These aren't so bad as long as you keep moving. However, if she's trying to lock onto you, if you move around really quickly and just avoid the bullseye, then you can actually avoid the attack altogether. She'll give up. Arbalest down. Let's move Hilgard into position. Okay, that is exactly where I want her. Now there's nothing left to do except get some gems, hopefully. So I go ahead and charge up Berserk. Oh. There we go. Like I said, I go ahead and charge up Berserk in Chaos Phase. And he'll hopefully be able to reach Aquina. The only reason why he can actually hit her, and there he just did, the only reason why he could do that was because he didn't have a weapon equipped. This is just a normal attack. So he can land a blow and get some gems out of it, but it won't do any appreciable damage. I'm waiting for Aquina to get in position, and instead she takes the back road. And I decide, alright, enough's enough, we'll just end the round. Thanks to Berserk, the road is open, so I can go ahead and pull out Hilgard, and I throw in Johan, our permanent warrior. He's going to work on those other two objects. We do have another warrior, Fritz, but I don't put him in. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Anyway, in Berserk's position goes Hilgard. Now she has a clean route. She can hop right up to Aquina. There she goes. Alright, and so we still have some objects to destroy, but in the meantime, I'm going to throw in Moira, our hermit, but actually I changed my mind and I throw in our new permanent hermit, Francis. Francis is only level 5, so she can't really equip jack shit. But I don't intend to use her to fight, I just want her to farm gems, so she'll be able to serve that purpose. We're still going to keep that slasher +4 on so we can get the fast charge. Let's load up Aquina's key item. And we can go ahead and throw on a weapon for Hilgard too. So our primary objectives are to destroy those two objects, then have Hilgard travel up to face Aquina. Alright, here comes Hilgard. She's coming for you, Aquina. And Hilgard lands a blow. That's 1 for the rush count. Here's 2. And she gets another one. Alright, rush count is fulfilled. We have fast charge. And Aquina's rage meter is now full. Alright, out pop the key items. Now let's get those things destroyed completely. Nothing left to do now but fight Aquina. There I swing, but Aquina dodges. Damn it. Let's try again, Francis. She dodges again. Damn it. Finally, we land a blow on her. And my gems, my precious gems, are behind all that crap. Alright, I'm going to pull Johann, because in that position there's nothing any knight we have can do anything about it, and I don't want to accidentally brush across him and then activate him while I'm trying to dodge stuff, so I just remove him from the field altogether. Francis, good job, I like your hustle, but it's time to actually fight for real, so Moira's going in. Being a hermit, Moira has an advantage that she'll charge extra fast on a higher elevation. So at a height of 8th, yes, she'll have quite a boost to her charge. I'm throwing on her jackknife. We use that during the Melissa fight as well. Moira can overcharge that, and so hopefully she's going to just rain hell on Aquina. We'll leave in that slasher +4 so we can benefit from the rush count effect. Now, if I wanted to be super efficient, I would actually put Alonso, our Lance Knight, right there. He can spin in all 4 directions, so he could cover pretty much any way that Aquina chose to travel. However, I left him out basically because I wanted this fight to last a little longer.
Engage.
There's strike 1. Another hit. In her corner, she's going to do her little targeting move. And she dodges Hilgard's attack there. There we go. Rush count achieved. Here comes Moira. And she's already fully overcharged. That's crazy. I go ahead and let her target me just to show it off again. These arrows aren't really too bad. The only issue is that they tend to come at you from way off screen and sometimes you can't see them coming.
I won't hold back. This jagged eyes will tear your...
Alright, good job, Moira. Of course, when she overcharges, that disqualifies Moira's daggers for the rest of the round. So the only knight on the field that can do any damage is Hilgard. Aquina's rage meter is full.
Feel the wrath of my blade. Follow my lead. Not much time left. I'll feel the wrath of my blade. Follow my lead. Vanish.
Aquina dodged again, damn it. And there, an arrow from off screen got me.
Engage.
Yeah, we know.
Feel the wrath of my blade. Follow my lead. I'll feel the wrath of my blade.
Our rush count is 2. Let's get one more hit.
This jagged ice will tear your flesh.
And Aquina dodged. She got a little bit of that damage, but she mitigated quite a bit of it. Once again, Aquina's rage meter's full.
Time is fading away. Okay, let's do this. Break out. Vanish. That seemed to be effective. Vanish. That seemed to be effective. Vanish. That seemed to be effective.
At this point, I figured enough's enough. Let's give her the key item. Right, an interesting little peek into Aquina's thought process, huh?
It's showtime. Break out. Vanish. That seemed to be effective.
There are no gems to be gotten when we land a blow. All the funds have been lifted.
Okay, let's do this. Break out. Vanish. That seemed to be effective. Attack. Feel the wrath of my blade. I can't believe I missed. Critical attack. Break out! Vanish! That seemed to be effective. Attack! Feel the wrath of my blade. Oh my lord. Will obliterate. Attack! Feel the wrath of my blade. Oh my lord. Attack! Feel the wrath of my blade. Oh my lord. Will it. Break out! Vanish! That seemed to be effective.
Okay, we pretty much have Aquina on the ropes here, don't we? There was an object to respawn, and Arbalest has finally respawned, but it only has a weapon inside, so we're not going to worry about it. Now, having given Aquina her key item, that freed up a slot in my inventory, so I'm able to throw another pair of daggers on for Moira. That way, once she overcharges her ice daggers, she'll still have something to attack with.
Engage!
Yeah, we get it.
Attack! Fear my blade. That seemed to be effective. Let chaos reign. Enemy attack! Critical attack!
So at this point I'm trying to land some blows to get the fast charge bonus.
My blade. Follow my lead.
But finally I decide, oh fuck it, I'll just charge it anyway.
This jagged ice will tear through
And down goes Aquina. Here at the inventory screen, I had a few chores to take care of. As I mentioned during the gameplay, we have a new permanent warrior and a new permanent hermit, some second stringers for a little variety. Fritz was the warrior that was chosen in the thread, and I would have used him in this scene, except unfortunately his law index is really low, it's in the pits. And so for that reason I wanted to use Johann. I wanted him to be able to destroy those objects quickly, instead of farting around having to charge over and over and over again. Here we see that Fritz was at level 22, and since I hadn't used him, I'd never bothered to level him up. So first things first, I went ahead and maxed out his level up to 38. That cost about 5 million XP, but that's not too big of a deal. So with him being maxed out, then it was time to give him a trance soul. Going through the list, looks like Marden is a good match for him, and in fact it turns out they're buddies. So if we see from this picture here, Fritz is going to gain quite a lot of law index, which is good because his law index right now is only 16. That's pretty rotten. So how can I pass this up? I went through with it. There's Marden acknowledging that, yep, they are buddies, in fact. And then Fritz, unfortunately, not too happy about what had to happen. With this, Fritz's max level was raised to 44. And we can see his law index gained 20. That's not too bad at all. So he rose from 16 to 36. He's graduated from horrendous to merely shitty. Afterwards, I went ahead and pumped him full of experience points to max him out to his current max level of 44. So right now, he's doing pretty good. His law index, like I said, is only 36. That's still kind of crappy. But his chaos index is through the roof. It's 91. So he can pack quite a punch in chaos phase. That should make things interesting. As for our permanent hermit, Francis, little Francis is only level 5, so I maxed her out as well. That took her up to level 19. After that, I went ahead and got her a trance soul partner. After going through the list, Minota was a pretty good match. If we see from this, Francis will gain a lot of vitality and quite a bit of chaos index. Well, I prefer using hermits in chaos phase anyway, so this is quite a boon. So I went ahead and went through it. Poor Minota. Feels like stalkers after her, I guess. And yeah, no shit, Francis. I should hope that you would do that. Alright, Francis's max level has raised to 26. After the trance soul, we can see that she gained 6.5 vitality. Her law index went down by 4. That's not too big of a deal, though. I don't typically use hermits in law phase that often. However, her chaos index went up 12, and that's not too shabby, so she is shaping up to be a decent hermit. Afterwards, I went ahead and raised her to her max level of 27, so she is locked and loaded and ready to go now. Let's move on. Alright, and we find ourselves even deeper into the castle. But with Maria back, she's found us and she's joined up with us, and I'm pretty glad for that. We can see on the screen that there's quite a lot going on. A lot of monsters, and those damn books are back, the ones that shit out pages that I have to dodge. But Maria's in tow, and so hopefully we'll be able to deal with it. Let's talk a little bit about the flashback we just saw. In the flashback, we saw Morozov, who was a wizard that we recruited not too long ago, saying that the cardinal wanted the king's body. He also made an offhand comment that he didn't know where Beatrix had been transferred to. Now, Beatrix, we know that name. In fact, we've recruited her. The first time we saw her in this game was way back in an earlier flashback. This was set one night before the tragedy at Aventium Castle. So at the time, the king was still alive. This was the night before he died. And what was happening in the flashback was that he was at Fort Gerhard giving a lecture to Gunther saying, yeah, a nation is only as strong as its people, that kind of thing. At the end of his speech, then a messenger ran up and said, King Wilmgard, Cape Horn wants you up in the castle right away. And Wilmgard said, well, I guess it's urgent, we better get going. And he turns and says that to a retainer, who says, yes, sire. This is Beatrix, and we know that, of course, because she has a unique portrait. Why would Beatrix be there at that time? There is a reason. Beatrix belongs to the First Order of Knights. So who are they? Well, it's a group of knights led by King Wilmgard himself. And they consist of handpicked knights. This is the cream of the crop. They're also called the Royal Guard. So they basically do whatever the king wants. They're his immediate knights to order around. These guys are the best of the best. And we have actually recruited all of the knights of this order. We have Gaish, I think that's how you say his name, a wizard, Beatrix the hermit, we have Ganoche the archer, and finally Bordeaux the archer. This is the entirety of the First Order of Knights, so I guess they're all dead now, huh? Beatrix was recruited during stage 20, which is when we fought Dotorus. So, Morozov made a comment, I don't know what happened to Beatrix. Well, all we know now is that she presumably died in this area, and whether it was Dotorus himself who killed her or not, we don't know. I guess at this point it's irrelevant. Morozov then goes on to say, with Grants missing, you're the only two guys I can trust. Well, we did see what happened to Granitz too. He was the knight that wandered into the treasury and looked around and realized that Scapio was there. To his credit, he tried to fight Scapio, but of course he got squashed immediately. So we know what happened to Granitz. Anyway, back to the flashback. This Rondine guy said that we have to hide the king's body. Now, he's worried about them planting evidence on the body, and that's a good, valid concern. However, we know that there's another concern for the body as well. Do you remember back when we saw a cutscene in which Zulganark ordered Yelma to retrieve the corpse for him? And when she asked, why do you want the corpse? He said, well, I'm trapped in here, there's bonds that are holding me in place, but if I had the power of the arbitrator, then I could break free. So that's why he wants the corpse. Now Yelma in turn goes back to her dungeon where she's holding Algerie. Apparently no one knows Algerie's there. In fact, Cape Horn's people are still looking for her as far as we're aware. At any rate, Yelma casts some kind of a spell on her and says, "Alright, I've got a job for you. Here's your mission." Well, the mission was to retrieve the corpse for her. A little while later, we saw a cutscene in which some knights that were in the royal crypt, presumably guarding the corpse, were suddenly attacked by monsters. A little bit later, we saw a hermit who stumbled across the scene and found a bunch of dead knights laying around. This hermit is Vishna, who was assigned by Cape Horn to watch Yelma. This was way back when Cape Horn first threw that meeting that Yelma didn't attend and pissed him off. At that time, he ordered Vishna to keep an eye on Yelma and report any activity to him. So I'm not really sure what Vishna's doing skulking around the crypt, but she found all these dead knights laying around. And then she also noticed Algerie was creeping around in the crypt as well. So she's on to something. Moving on, at our current cutscene, we saw Maria kind of wander into the treasury and notice the Ancardia, the staff. And she went up and said, "Oh, it was hidden here of all places." You know, I was expecting her to, first off, I was expecting us to present it to her. You know, the Wisp would pull it from whatever hammer space he uses and present it to her. And then I expected her to just freak out and say, "Oh my gosh, you found it. Oh my god, thank you." But instead, she's just kind of like, "Oh, it's always in the last place you look." So, alright, whatever. I had a good laugh over that. It's not what I was expecting at all. At any rate, she did finally catch up to us, and she's been talking to us. I wanted to point out something interesting that she said. She seemed to sense some fear in the Wisp, and she asked him, "Are you afraid? Are you afraid to remember who you were and what you did?" Well, I'm not really aware of anything bad that Wilmgard did, but it is kind of a scary concept for the Wisp. He's very slowly getting his memories back, and at this point, probably the only thing he really understands is that there's some bad things that happened. So it's kind of a scary concept. Does he really want to open that door? Unfortunately, he doesn't really have that luxury, does he? He's got to press on. And that brings us to the current stage. Now, this stage is going to be quite a mess. There's a lot of tough monsters on the field. It's quite difficult. The monsters are very aggressive. It's going to be a tough fight. Fortunately, we do have Maria with us, and she has her precious staff, the Ancardia. On top of that, she has another trick up her sleeve. And let's just say next time, Maria's going to go nuclear. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.